Hello and welcome. So we're going to talk about crystal skulls today. This is one of the things that I really love. I'd like to start by saying I'm not going to apologize for my appearance. I've been rocking out to In This Moment all morning, and yeah, so this is what you get. This is what I look like. But we're going to talk about crystal skulls. There's not enough information out there, and I feel like it's kind of because it's a newer type of practice. And of course, there's all of the legends of like the hidden crystal skulls and where they came from, and so many things. If you want to Google like the history of that, some of them have been disproven according to science, but magic is just science that we don't understand yet. So I wanted to talk about connecting with crystal skulls because I feel like that's where you begin. So I wanted to show you, these are some of mine. I didn't get all of them, but I have my biggest one and my smallest one. The biggest one is the newest one and is kind of being kept in hiding so I don't have to explain some PayPal activity. So we're gonna start with her because she's the most active right now. This is Waka. She is a clear quartz crystal. She does have the mark of the healer right here. There are also a couple of other marks on her, like right here. I get a lot of rainbow flashes in the skull, and like one of my favorite things is the ridge on her skull. I don't think any of my other ones have this, but it feels very like lifelike, but like accurate, I guess, to the anatomy. But like my favorite thing to do is like it's like a mohawk. But I'll get more into what I get from her. So that is her. This is one of my first. This one does not. I haven't really worked with this one, but it is an agate. It has this on the back, and it has the like little crystal cave there, and there's also like a smaller one in the jaw down here. This is like one of my first like larger ones. I have a bunch of the little guys. And this one is another favorite of mine. This one does not have a name. It's clear quartz and hematite, so it's hematoid quartz. I love that one. It's very grounding. This one is another clear quartz. I didn't bring Rosie in here. Okay, I have one that has given me a name of Rosie that I haven't really worked with. Smaller clear quartz. Sodalite. Also no name yet. And then the selenite does not have a name. But I just, for some reason, I had to have a selenite, and I think I might have paid a little bit more than I wanted to for it, but it was on the list. I needed a selenite skull. And then we're going to get into the smaller ones. There's a fluorite and smoky quartz. Very light smoky. I mean, it looks kind of darker in the camera, but it's pretty light. And then this would be one of the smallest ones. This is rose quartz, a very small but detailed. All right, so now that you've seen the ones that I brought in here to show you, show and tell is over. Let's talk about connecting with them. So like I said, there's not a whole lot of information. So I kind of do my own thing. I follow my intuition and I go with what feels right. I do research and I do see how others are doing it, but there's maybe a couple of people that that share this information, at least openly enough that I can find it through my own research. The best way that I prefer to connect is through breath. So what I do is I will sit and we can talk a little bit about activating a skull. I don't necessarily think it's always necessary. So I feel like just initially working with it and engaging with the energy is enough to activate it, in my personal opinion and practice. But the way I like to connect and I guess activate is through breath. So I will hold the skull. I want to use Waka, but she's heavy to hold up. So I like to stare at the skull, and I I kind of like introduce myself and ask, do you want to connect? And you usually will get something. You'll feel it, or it will not feel right in some way if that's not ready for that. In that case, you just move on and try again later. But when you get a yes, usually get a yes. Um, I will, let the being know that maybe has its energy imbued in the skull, um, that I'm going to connect, and I would like to attempt to read each other's energy. I'd like for you to accept my energy and for me to accept yours. And once that's kind of established, what I do is I imagine them breathing opposite of me. So when I breathe out, they're breathing in my breath. And when I breathe in, I'm breathing in their breath or energy. So I believe a lot of our energy is held in our breath. Um, and that's a whole other topic of, wearing masks and stuff. And I believe that even after we're done with this panoramic, um, I will probably continue to wear a mask. I feel like it is as beneficial as veiling, which I don't do often enough, but that's a whole other topic. So we are breathing in each other's energy and taking it in and feeling it. And I will do that for as long as I feel like it is necessary. And when I feel it, when you know, and it's really up to the energy that you possess, how strong your energy is, how strong their energy. It will vary. You could probably get it done in a few breaths. Sometimes you'll sit there for 30 minutes just breathing back and forth with your skull. It's really just to tune your energies to each other. And I like to only work with one at a time unless I'm gridding. So once you've gotten the breath back and forth into a flow, I will not stop breathing, but stop up that imagining part of it. And that's when I can usually ask a question if I feel so inclined. If not, I will thank them and let them, let them be. But a lot of times I will ask a question. Do you have a name? You know, can you give me any insight as to where you've come from or what you're here to help me with? If I don't get anything from the skull saying, like an energy of, I want to help you with financial manifestation, or I want to help you clear up your energy. That's kind of what I've gotten from the selenite, which makes sense because selenite is a cleansing stone or crystal. And so I'll get something of what I want, what the skull is here for me for, because you're drawn to them for a reason. They're drawn to you for a reason. I will, if I don't get anything, I will let them know this is what I would like help with. And if you can help me in any way, please do so. And they will work whether you're working with them or not, once you've established a connection. I have a lot of them that I haven't connected with yet, just because I do like to work with them one-on-one, establishing, working with, and before I move on to kind of working with another one. And, I have a job, I have kids, I have work in a business, I'm doing the YouTube, I'm making my journals. So it's not like, it doesn't have to be a daily practice. If you don't want it to be, it can if you want it to be. If you're getting something great out of it, I would continue doing it as much as possible, as long as your circumstances permit. But I will say, okay, I would like help with this part of my life. Show me things, sometimes in that moment, it's almost like a meditation, but it's more of a two-way thing. You can get words pop into your head, pictures, if you're in the clairvoyant realm, if you are developing any of those clairs, that may be how you receive a message. You may not get anything at first. And that doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. That just means that you aren't ready to receive in that way yet, or maybe there's something that needs to be worked out first. But the more you do it, the more tuned in you get to the energy, then it will start to come. Um, so I do want to talk about what happened with Waka here. Waka is spelled with a V. I not only so I work with clairaudience and clairvoyance mostly. I do get like some body sensations occasionally from spirit, or even my higher self will communicate with me that way. And a lot of times I don't know what it means or what it's for, and you kind of have to dig into it. But with her, and I don't think it's necessarily because of the physical size. It is the energy that's held within the crystal. Small crystals can have great power, great energy, very strong vibrations. And you could have a giant crystal that is very soft in vibration that you have to really pay attention in order to receive from. So I don't feel like the size has much to do with it, but I did the breath exercise with her, and I connected and I said, this is what, or no, I didn't tell her until the end, but after I found out what I believe her to be here for, she is for empowerment. She is here for my personal empowerment, not necessarily feminine. And in fact, I think she's helping draw out more masculine qualities for me. But I got an actual voice, which does not happen for me. I will get words. Um, I don't hear the words. The words just come. Maybe it's more of a claircognizance than clairaudience in that case. But the voice had a very distinct accent that I can't 100% pinpoint. I believe um I believe it to be of African heritage or in nature, but not anything that we know of today. Like I get, and the reason her name is Waka is because I feel, and I know it's a fictitious, possibly fictitious, I feel Wakanda warrior energy from her, and very strong empowerment vibration. Um, but the accent, and I don't even want to attempt to replicate it, but when she said, "Put me behind the books," the word books was very thick, and kind of elongated, like books, like very, very strong. So that's what I got from her. And because I would ask questions like, where would you like to be in my home? What would be the best place for you to be of service to me, location wise? Sometimes I keep them in the bedroom. The rose quartz that I showed you stays in my bedroom. I do believe I have another one in the nightstand next to my bed. I'm in my bedroom. So you can ask questions like that. What would you like from me? Because it is an exchange of energy. You kind of are supporting them the way the way they are supporting you. So it is an exchange, almost like working with a deity, which I don't. Just a preference. Never been really drawn to it, and except for a time when, oh my gosh, Anubis was presenting himself a lot, but I it kind of went away. I let it go. But yeah, so that's what I get from her. That's probably the strongest connection I've made, is getting an actual voice with an actual accent. And like I said, that's not very common, at least for me. Um, but yeah, so they come into your life for a certain reason, whether they want to tell you what it is or whether you ask for it because that's why they're there and they just want you to initiate. So we have that going on right now. So I'm yeah. And when I picked her up to bring her in the room for this video, I still had In This Moment playing, and I was like, oh, this was you. This was you getting me all fired up with In This Moment. So I'm looking at my notes, connecting with the breath grids. They're great for gridding. You can combine them with other crystals of your liking. You can do a grid of just skulls, but it works the same way as any other crystal grid. You place them how it feels right for the purpose. You can choose whatever stones you want or crystals you want to be in the grid. You can use points, you can use tumbles, you can use whatever, but they really amplify, and they really amplify the grid's purpose. And then for me, if I'm using other stones that are not skulls, they support the amplified energy of the skull. It's kind of, so you would think that you would have an amplifier that amplifies all of the other stones, but they kind of do both. It's very, very cool. So the skull will amplify the stones like a generator would in a crystal grid. But also they support the activity of the skull. So they both really support each other, which obviously that's what a crystal grid would do, but the way I feel it doing it is very like how can I paint this image? So like you've seen like science graphics explaining um like motion where it almost looks like a donut, where this is going out this way and then it's coming back up underneath it, and it kind of like it goes around in a circle, but it's in the shape of a donut. I hope that paints a good enough visual. But that's how they work in a grid for what I've noticed. I would really like to know, if you've worked with skulls, how you do things, because like I said, there's just not enough information out there on how we're doing it. And I feel like there are a lot more people out there working with crystal skulls than we know, but either they don't feel like they're doing it right, or they're worried about being criticized on how they do it. And honestly, to each their own. If it works for you, then that's how you're supposed to do it. But yeah, and then the other thing is meditation. You can take one of the smaller ones. I like to hold one in my receiving hand. Your dominant hand is the hand that you give energy with, and your non-dominant hand is the hand that you receive energy with. And you have chakras in your palms that transmit that energy. So I will put it in my receiving hand if I am trying to receive messages during meditation. Um, and I don't really ever do a meditation where I'm trying to put anything out there. That's what the grids are for. That's what intention rituals are for. But for the most part, I will have it in my receiving hand, because if I'm working with the skull during meditation, it's usually to receive something. If I need insight on a situation or whatever. I mean, basically, that's kind of what you would want to receive. For manifestation, I suppose you could put that in your. I don't usually use crystal skulls for manifestation, personally, but I would like to hear from you if you do, how you do it. If you have a channel, let me know in the comment. Make a video, that would be cool. I'm really curious. We need to put more information out there. But that's really what I had for the crystal skulls for today. If you have specific questions, please put them in the comments, and I will make more videos. If you want to know how I do specific things or recommend things, I am always open for recommendations. We are a community, and if you are a skull keeper, then I would love to know about you and how you work with them. And if you have social medias that you share this stuff on, I want to follow you. So yeah, let me know if this is of interest to you. You want more, you want to stick around for more. Make sure you subscribe. I don't just do the crystals. I do have a lot of crystal videos, but I also do tarot readings and all of that stuff. So check out the channel if you're interested. And I would love to know what you think and have some feedback. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day.